Hi, this is Julio, and I'm going to tell you about the project idea that I've developed for the new Instruments for Musical Expression class that I'm taking at ITP. My project idea is called Air Mashup. Don't worry, this project has nothing to do with air guitar. So first I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background. My background as far as it relates to music has been comprised primarily of DJing. When I first moved to New York about 11 years ago, I began to DJ, and I DJed in the city for about 6 years in various clubs and bars. I played mostly house, techno, and electro, and I've always had an interest in composing, creating compositions from layers of clips, loops, and songs. So this is really the area that I wanted to explore with this project. So in terms of the instrument inspiration itself, I was inspired to bring together the idea of mashups, which has become very common with the rise of the DJ in the last 20 years, with the aesthetics from a gestural and visual perspective of a theremin, which was an instrument that was created at the beginning of this century, where the artist plays it by waving his hand near two separate parts of that instrument. So I wanted to take these two concepts, the aesthetic from a sound perspective of mashup with the aesthetic of a gestural and physical perspective from the theremin. That's what really kind of drove the design of the instrument. But before I talk a little bit more about the instrument, I want to share with you a little bit about the inspiration that I had from a musical perspective. So from a musical perspective, my inspiration came from Miss Kitten. Miss Kitten is an artist that I've liked for many years, and she has these really nice techno sounds that is mixed with some 80s inspired synth electro-y sounds. All very danceable and just all very kind of funky, cool stuff. And so I wanted to limit the music that I was going to use for this project really as a way to help me get started and help me figure out how I wanted the interaction to go. This is not to say that I will not diverge from music created by Miss Kitten, but she really served as kind of one of my inspirations for this project. So now I'm going to share with you a little bit about some of the sounds from Miss Kitten herself that I plan to use at the beginning, middle, and end of my composition. And of course this is all going to be a live performance, but I already kind of have some samples in mind specifically that I want to begin and end my performance with, though in the middle I just have a couple of sample sounds that I may use, though not certain yet which ones and how they will be composed. But let me share this with you.
This is a new wildlife farm speaking through a wireless microphone. I'm a titanium babe, addicted child of your wireless internet.
So that's a little sample that I plan to play at the very beginning of the performance. Now I'm going to share with you a couple of samples of the type of beats that I hope to build the performance with. Alright, now I'm going to go on to the sample that I already kind of have in mind for the wrap-up of the short set that I'll be doing.
I have every information of you. This is a real game. And there are only two persons. You and me. This is the game. I don't have a name. I'm something like invisible. Stop.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the technical stuff, how I plan to pull all of this off. So first off, the way that I envision mixing up a theremin with mashups is creating an array of proximity sensors, each controlling the volume of a separate sound channel. And these sound channels would each play different clips and loops that I would assign to them. Next to each of these proximity sensors, I would also place an LED, and this LED would serve as a feedback mechanism to enable me to know how loud a certain sound is currently turned on at. Because, for example, the brightness of each LED would correspond to the current volume of that specific channel. Now looking a little bit closer at what each of these small areas may look like. Of course, this is not really design, this is just kind of showing the components. You have at the top there an LED light that would be dimmable. In the center you have the infrared sensor that would probably, I'd want it to sense somewhere in between half a meter to a meter worth of distance. And then there would also be I also envision a button that would enable me to route the music or the sounds coming from that specific channel to an effects processor so that I could lay over the stuff some different effects, such as anything from delays to filters, to other things that I maybe don't even have in mind right now. So that's pretty much it. That kind of gives you a good overview of what I plan to do. And so thank you for your time. And I'm going to just share with you the photo credits for some of the photos that I used at the beginning of this presentation that were used under Creative Commons from various artists on Flickr.